Today is Sunday, Parashat Devarim. Next week we'll be reading Parashat Devarim, the first parasha in the book of Devarim. And the book is actually a speech that's given by Moshe Rabbeinu that started on the 1st of Shvat and went all the way to the 7th of Adar, about 5 weeks later, when Moshe Rabbeinu passes away. At the beginning of the parasha of this week, Moshe Rabbeinu hints to all the places in the desert where they sinned. He refers to the place where there was Egel HaZahav, where there was the golden calf, and other places, but he does it by the way of hint, in order not to embarrass them. Very important idea. Even if you want to rebuke someone, if you want to point out certain things that he did wrong, that you want to correct him, you must be very, very careful not to do it in a way that would embarrass him in public, or even if he's not in public, the way that you present it to him has to be in a way that is thoughtful, that is concerned about him improving, and concerned also about not to embarrass him, not to cause him undue distress, while at the same time your whole purpose is to make him into a better person. So Moshe Rabbeinu, in reminding them of all these places in the desert where, whether it is with the spies or the episode with the golden calf, he does it by way of hint in the mentioning the places where they were. The next Shabbat is also called Shabbat Chazon. It's the Shabbat that precedes Tisha B'Av. Actually, this year it's the day of Tisha B'Av, and the fast is postponed to Sunday. It's called Chazon because the Haftarah that is read on this Shabbat begins with the word Chazon. It's a vision of the prophets that rebukes the Jewish people for their misbehavior and the sins that brought about the destruction of the temple, and the grave sin of injustice, of sinat chinam, hatred in vain. And the parasha of this week will include, at the beginning of the second portion of the Torah, when the second person goes up, the word is Echa, which is the first word also of the scroll of Lamentations that is read on the day of Tish'a, that describes the period of the exile and the period of the destruction of the temple. And Echa means how. And Moshe Rabbeinu in the parasha says, Echa esa levadi torhachem u'masa'achem berivchem. Moshe Rabbeinu is sort of lamenting over the fact of having to deal with all their contentious fighting between the people. And Rashi explains, they would go to court, and if one side would see that he's losing, he would bring more proof against the other one, and they would be so contentious and so going after each other, even about petty things. They would be not forgiving. They would go on and on and on in these conflicts and discord and infighting and creating hatred amongst themselves. And Moshe Rabbeinu says, Echa, how could I carry all this fighting and these contentious arguments between you and being like wanting to go to court for everything, and that type of aspect is something that Moshe refers to, but it's actually something that happened also at the time of the destruction of the Bet Mikdash, and that's what brought about the destruction of the Bet Mikdash. The story of Kamsa and Bar Kamsa, that was so such a story that where somebody was didn't want to have a guest amongst the people present. The person was invited by mistake, and the person was embarrassed and told to leave, even though he was ready to pay for the whole event, just not to be embarrassed in public. So that type of approach is the type of approach that we need to correct. And we need to correct in the sense that now, this period, we need to think how we can increase kindness towards each other. How can we increase feeling for the other person? If a person is in trouble, see how you can help him. And to increase good relations amongst ourselves. Because Echa, which begin the scroll of lamentation, the same word is used by Moshe Rabbeinu about contentious fighting between people. And it is the type of thing that if we correct and we bring more love and appreciation and unity and harmony amongst ourselves, then we'll merit the coming of Mashiach. B'mera be'amenu. Amen. Baruch Adonai le'olam. Amen ve'amen.